do. Pushing buttons. Oh my god. You have to turn on my thing. Hold on. Don't push that button. That's the wrong button. That's the wrong button. No, don't push it. Oh, yeah. Hit all the buttons, I guess. Click the button. What's up, everybody? Oh, my God. You guys, it's Monday. It's unbelievable out here. Coming at you live, September 26th, 2022. How y'all doing? The weather report's telling me the smoke is back. The smoke is back. It's not quite here yet. But the smoke's coming back. And today is going to be a record high. Record high temperature in September. Where I'm at. So welcome back on a Monday, here to talk about whatever the heck is going on. I don't have any real pressing crazy issues going on today, and I didn't go on vacation. I didn't go anywhere. There was no travel. It was just work and whatnot. So we definitely have to check in with the smoke weather news that is ongoing today. But yeah, record high for September. It's going to be like 80-something today later on. We don't hit our high temperature here in on the West Coast. Well, the Northwest. I don't know about California. I don't know anything about California, guys. Come on. Let's be true. Let's be true and accurate. I know a bunch of stuff about California, but I'm not talking about California. I'm talking about the Northwest. It gets hot. Our hottest time here is like 5 p.m., so it's probably going to be 80-something because it's already 80 on my exterior temperature. You know what I'm talking about? You got a thermometer outside. Shout-outs to the chat. There's really nobody chatting today. It's a weird Monday. Everybody's out doing something. You guys all must be out partying or doing what's up. Alyssa Bentley's here. What's up, Alyssa? Frank Dominguez, Lexi V, Paula Kreinberg, Skydancer, and Snoochie Booch. That's like the easiest to get through the hey, what's ups of all time. But let's check in on, by the way, if you are a member or if you're either a member on YouTube or a patron, the phone lines are open over on the Discord. If you don't know what the Discord is, that's where our community be hanging out, bro. So if you guys want, access to the community, you can do that. Mikey shared a hilarious video this morning, which is probably, I don't know if it's true or not. If it is accurate to what it is pretty enlightening. Pretty funny stuff. We'll find out if it's true over time here, and then I'll let you know. If it is true, I'll let you know what that video was. Anyhow. Yeah, so this weekend, as just a quick side note, this weekend was mildly eventful. Actually, I got a bunch of projects done. I had to build a new condensation line that went outside, and then working on some stuff for the new fish room, because I got to do electrical for the new fish space, which is just leading itself into a rat's nest of dealing with old electrical. I am actually going to have to swap the main panel out for a new panel, and going through all of the checklists to do all of that stuff, realizing that there are wires in this house that just go nowhere. So tracking those down has been fun. That was probably the most exciting thing that happened this weekend, is me crawling around in our attic here, which actually has Not one, not two, not three, but 4 layers of insulation up there. It is a little bit chaotic, you know? It's a little bit chaotic up there. At some point in time, all of that insulation is going to have to get removed and replaced, and I am not looking forward to that day. That day, I ain't looking forward to that day. That's not going to be fun. That ain't going to be a fun day. I don't like it. I don't like the idea, but it's just a reality that at some point that that at some point it's all going to have to come out. It's going to be a really big deal. Catherine says, "Wires that go nowhere is a little scary." I haven't found any just floating in the walls or anything like that. Most of them lead up to somewhere that they're just disconnected. Like at one point, somebody went, "Nope," and then just left the box in the wall. So I haven't found any like unprotected random wires hooked up to the panel or anything like that. So nothing shocking or frightening, if you know what I'm saying. Nothing shocking. You get it. Electrical wires, shock, yeah, right. Jokes, bah. And just as a shout out to people that watch this later and leave comments, verbal shrug. Verbally shrugging. That's me. You know who you are out there. But yeah, if you are in the replay team, by the way, on the replay team, you have to leave a comment on the video. If you watch this live stream later, you have to leave a comment. Just say hi. Hey, what's up? Just say what's up. Just say, hey, how you doing? You know, whatever. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And I'll holler back at you at some point. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. But we got that wiring stuff figured out. There's a bunch of coax cable that runs all over this house. I have found 10 outlets running all back to a networking box to network coax cable, which is interesting. And I found a bunch of Cat5 networking cable, which is wired. What are the schematics? Schematics for Cat5 wiring. We'll just look that up. It'll pop up. How are they wired? They are wired like, let's see, which one is it? Oh, sorry. Boom, 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 boom. They are wired like, yeah, this one right here. The UTP. Wait, no. Some networking guy is going to get super mad at me right now. Which one is it? No. It's the B one. Which one's the B one? Yeah, T568B. That's what they're wired like. And the new code is T568A. Which is not that big of a deal, because then I can actually just go and rewire the ones that I'm running to, because I can just cut the wire and rewire it. So it's not like the biggest deal. But then figuring out which wire goes to which one, then I got to do like continuity testing, which is kind of a pain. But I think, my thought is that Olivia could help on that. And then Vicky was like, no, you can't have Olivia be plugging in wires at her age and stuff. Excuse me, I got burp. That was bad. Welcome to the professional show where I burp into the microphone. Oh yeah, this thing came up the other day that I wanted to talk about, but some people might think it's political in nature, even though I really don't think it is. I think the thing that spurred the conversation might be political, but the $10,000 and $20,000 in relief that has been dropped on some college folks, the college debt. And the thing that I was intrigued by, I went to go look this up because it has to do with billionaires and the sort of like the weird what do you call that? It's not like a rumor, but it's like a the myth that it's like, oh, drop out of college. College is useless. That is going around these days, because it's like, well, Bill Gates dropped out of college. And it's like, well, Bill Gates dropped out of Princeton, and his family was wealthy, and they supported him, and he'd already met people, and he already was working on projects long before that. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know many kids that were like programming at 14 before programming existed. You know what I mean? Like, they're just average people aren't doing that. But I wanted to figure out what schools like billionaires had gone to, and I realized that like there are some that dropped out of school, but the far majority of them went to school, which is very interesting. Like, how many degrees do the world's richest people hold? 1 degree, 548. 2 degrees, 227. 3 degrees, 35. 4 degrees, there are 3 super rich people that have 4 degrees, which is interesting. And, the idea is that there's this weird myth around, like, they just drop out of college and, like, start a business in a garage, and it's like, yeah, I mean, Jeff Bezos did start Amazon in a garage or whatever, but he also started with like, I think it was like 300 grand in like seed money from his parents or something. Yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that where you're just like, yeah, okay, what's the other half of that story? It's not that they just dropped out of school. It's like, oh, while they were in college, they were working on a project and they got a whole bunch of money. Like Mark Zuckerberg's a perfect example. Like, he already had proof of concept before he dropped out of Harvard, right? Which means like he was already in Harvard. So it's like, either he's insanely smart, like Doogie Howser or something, to the point where they just like put him into Harvard because he was so smart, or he was smart and just regular smart, and they were also from a wealthy family, you know what I mean? Or just a well-to-do family, just to afford their kid to go to Harvard, right? And it's a very weird like discussion to try and have with somebody that doesn't see value in a college degree. And it's more often than not people that like don't have a college degree, right? I think it's pretty rare that you would find somebody that like got their master's in something and they're just like, yeah, school's useless, don't go, like, right? Like, it would be a weird thing to find somebody that, obviously there is somebody out there that's like that. Of course, there's 8 billion people on the planet that you could be able to find that person. But it's definitely not normal to be like, yeah, just drop out of college. Like every study that not necessarily every study I've looked into. I haven't read too many studies about attending college, but like every paper, article, stuff like that, they show that the amount of money you're going to earn in your lifetime from having a degree compared to not having a degree is just astronomical still, to the point where you're like, somebody that has a degree on average will earn like $1 million in their lifetime versus somebody who doesn't have a degree. And just on that simple basis that you're like, what are the outcomes like, right? What are the outcomes like for people that get a degree? Like, generally speaking, these outcomes are much better than not, right? So it's always weird to encounter those conversations, and I think it's interesting, realistically, but it's almost always, that stuff's almost always coming from somebody that like doesn't have a degree, and it's kind of interesting because I guess what spurred that conversation a while ago, I had a similar conversation like about a year ago with a family member that was like that, and they were like, oh yeah, school's useless or whatever because they're retired and they have nothing better to do than just get mad about some headline they heard on Fox News or whatever. And it's kind of weird to think that like the people going to school are air quote indoctrinated. It's like, are you indoctrinated with like more information? Right? It's like, oh, you've got more information now, I guess you've become indoctrinated, right? I guess if you have a master's degree in ichthyology or something, you've become indoctrinated with knowledge, I guess. Uh-oh. DKLA just dropped out of college today. No joke. Noser, I kick myself every day for not going to college. I agree. You know, like when it was time for me to go to college, like I went to community college a couple of times. But the reality, like for me, trying to maintain a house, maintain a relationship, maintain school, and also work like 60 hours a week, it just was impossible. It was impossible to do that. And, okay, not impossible. It was improbable that anything was ever going to continue, right? You know, there's a breaking point for like every person, and I guess I got to that point. And just said like, all right, I'm not going to school anymore because I have to go to a job. Like I couldn't get rid of my job because then I would have been homeless, right? And I guess I probably valued a physical relationship more than not. And admittedly, at one point in time, I forget how old I was. I think it was like 22, maybe 23, something like that. Like I was working and my spouse at the time was going to school. And like I was basically paying all the bills so that she could go to school. And then after like 9 months or something like that, it eventually came out that she wasn't actually attending school at all. And that might have been a big moment for me in my life of being like, well, F all this, right? You know. Oh, Crazy Aquarium guy's here. Oh my God, we got fish questions. The question I have is, did the degree or the money come first, especially at 3+ degrees? You know, that's a good question as far as the billionaires have accumulated more degrees. My guess would be that anybody that has gotten more degrees over time, that it would probably have to do with like they probably made some money and then went back and got more schooling, would be my guess. Mickham says, I ain't got a car because I ain't got no job. Oh, I ain't got a job, sorry. What's up, Mickham? What's going on? Catherine Thomas says, oh man, RN school is hard. RN school is hard, but definitely I think it's rewarding. You know, I would say having an RN in my family. It's worth it to finish the RN school. I'll tell you that. Your nursing degree is a worthwhile. Growing up poor doesn't help either. Yeah, it's not a big help. It's not a big help, and I know that like just a while ago I was with a different YouTube channel was working on some research for a video they were making, and a lot of it was coming up that like was private school better than public school, and one of the big takeaways that I got from reading all that research, right? It was pretty interesting to go like there's a big difference between public school and private school, especially in the US. Like it's really easy to kind of like compare and contrast the values and whatnot. But one of the big takeaways is that like private school is probably not teaching anything all that dramatically different or even in a different method or anything like that. It's just generally speaking that private schools are majority filled with kids whose parents earn a decent amount of money, right? And to earn a decent, those kids that come from a household whose parents earn, $250,000 a year combined, like the outcomes for those kids is just going to be better. And then all of those kids are all concentrated into a private school. And then you go like, well, wow, look how good the private school is, right? It's not I don't think it's necessarily that the private school is good or bad or anything like that. I think it's just that most of the kids going there probably have a lot more access to resources and certain things that they don't have to deal with on a day-to-day basis that kids going to public school, there's probably a higher percentage of kids that are probably hungry, probably can't afford to be on any of the sports teams, right? They don't have after school time. They don't have mentors. They don't have tutor time or anything like that. You know what I mean? So there was like a lot of things like that going in to it, and realizing that like private schools might not be better. It's just that you might have like a cross section of kids that's got a lot more. They have a lot more resources on their day to day, you know. And I was like, oh my god, that's kind of creepy to think about, realistically. No, sir, that's right. I take a big issue with the highly religious schools too. I do, for sure. So I'm definitely not going to do that. It's not fun when you have a house that doesn't have a ground, especially when you're using around water. Chris, I'm confused by that statement. RNs keep hospitals running. My son was a late preemie. My husband had a complicated appendectomy, and I had preeclampsia. But that is one of the hardest jobs I can think of. Yeah, my mom's a charge nurse, RN, ER, my whole life. She did it for 47 years, I believe, was her career. 48 years, something like that. Long time. Long time, nurse lady. But apparently this year she's going to allow her license to lapse so that they can no longer entice her to come back to work, because she is retired. But she was coming back to do she was coming back to do charge shifts and stuff like that. Like, apparently out of the whole hospital area that she was in, I think is I don't know, a couple hospitals or whatever. Like, she was one of two people that they could call to go run charge shifts if, like, say someone was out from work, maybe they got injured, maybe they got sick, maybe they were on vacation, I don't know. So she would always be out doing that stuff, and she's like, I'm just going to let it lapse so that they can't call me back, right? So, yeah, that's what's going on there. This is the new Crazy Aquarium guy, but in Swedish. Since I never get to meet my subs, all English-speaking countries on the Crazy channel. Zach, I tried watching some of your Swedish stuff, but there's no subtitles, so I didn't really know what was going on. I don't speak Swedish, nor I don't even have a foundation of understanding what the Swedish like alphabet is. I don't. I don't have a clue what's going on when I hear Swedish. I don't know what's happening. Aquarium Plant Lab is here. Hello. Hi. There's a huge nursing shortage because the nurses are afraid of the vid. What vid? I'm going to type it in here. Vid? What? Chris Howell says changed out to a 200 amp box. It's not fun when you have a house that doesn't have a ground expectedly. Oh. Word. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. I feel like that comment went flying over my head, but it is contextual. I do have solid ground here. The ground is no issue. I have a separated ground, and I also have foundation ground, so I'm pretty fine. The issue with the old panel that I have, so part of the bus bar on the left-hand side looks like it got smoked a little bit at one point, and then somebody had been working on it for a long time. This house has been here a while. There's no spring chicken. This house was built in 1952, I think. I don't know. I'd have to go look that up. I think it was 52 when this house was built. Then it was added on in the 90s. It's had a bunch of remodels, blah blah blah, millions of years of work, and whoever's been working on the panel previous to was not a professional electrician, or if it was a professional electrician, they definitely need somebody needs to bring them in and start testing. Somebody's got to run them through the test again, because clearly whoever this person is doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Mismatched breakers, loose wiring. Every code violation you can think of is present. So that's all coming out. I fixed a bunch of the stuff that was dangerous, as it were, and then eliminated a bunch of things off of the panel that I knew weren't going to anything that we're using right now, like a hot tub, for instance. In the meantime, so everything's testing fine. Neutral is present, ground is present, both sides are balanced, everything's fine. So there's nothing really right now, but that panel is going to get swapped. Right now I'm arguing with the county whether or not I need to put in an external disconnect or not if I upgrade the panel. If I swap the panel, do they want an external disconnect? Which I don't think that they do, because it's not a new service. It's just going to be a panel swap. But the other counties south of here, they want an external disconnect. I'm just trying to find out before I do it. And also, I need a whole day without the girls here, basically. Trying to do a full swap like that with both girls here, Vicky and Olivia, it would be a nightmare, because obviously the power's going to be out, and I'm going to probably be working on it, kind of doing some swears, looking for parts, making sure I got everything, blah blah blah, and it's like, I wouldn't be doing a panel swap on somebody's house if they were there either. I tell customers, like, just don't be here, Ew, I changed out all my galvanized into copper like 20 years ago when I did the electrical. The galvanized water pipe. Yeah, I don't have I only have galvanized from the street. From the street to over there. That's the only spot. But I don't know if I want to pull it out of the ground. I don't think we're going to see benefits to pulling it out right now, per se. So, I'm pretty cool with it. I went around and checked all the plumbing had been replaced with Kappa and PEX through a big run that goes back to a Wang Jangler back there. I know of many procedures that have been delayed because of the lack of nursing, because the nurses are afraid of COVID. To say that the nurses are afraid of COVID is a little bit disingenuous. I mean, I would have to interview a bunch of nurses and find out if they are afeared of it. But a lot of precautions have been put into place. A lot of stuff got pushed back because there were no treatments available specifically for COVID when that was ongoing. And but I know that they're making up for lost time now. But if you go in, you still have to wear a mask. They have to wear a mask. They're making sure that they're not spreading a virus. It is a virus. It's real. It sucks. I had it like what, 2 months ago, month and a half ago, something like that. So, it's not fun. It's not fun. I wouldn't say that it was a fun virus to have. But recently I was talking. Wesley was talking about it, that he was pretty upset that Biden said that the pandemic is over. And so the reality is that, like, if you're talking about the federal government, like Biden is representing, he's saying that the pandemic is over, that now we've moved into endemic. that COVID's considered endemic in the United States because we have treatment and we know how to treat it. We have we have vaccines for new variants and everything. So we're going to be getting vaccinated for it. I get my flu shot every year, so I'm just going to include it in that way and move on. Right? Yeah. Oh snap! We're 100% modern with our plumbing from each city connection now. That's right. Alyssa has had to replace a lot of stuff on their house in the past year. I work for infection prevention for 16 hospitals, and there I still is a shortage of RNs based on survey and call-outs. Right. Yeah, so I'll reiterate what I said, what I said was to know whether or not RNs fear COVID is, I mean, you're making a statement based on somebody's feeling. So I don't know. I would have to survey them and ask them if they have fear of COVID, right? But is there a shortage of nurses in the 16 hospitals that you're at? Which I think you're down in Southern California, right? And I know that Southern California is experiencing shortages with medical providers, like a lot of places are, because a lot of providers moved away. So, like for instance, travel nurses are traveling all around and doing travel nursing, getting paid 4 times the amount. So they probably don't want to show up to work at a hospital because they got paid $150 an hour to go to Tallahassee or whatever to do travel nursing and stuff. I think it's a pretty complex. I think it's a pretty complex situation. I would love to have a long form conversation with more than me just talking at chat about it. If somebody wants to organize what it is that we want to talk about, we could get on and both of us can talk about it and we can go back and forth. And if you don't want to do it publicly, you could always become a member and get on Discord and we can go back and forth on there. So I'm down for it. Like, I don't work for hospitals. I'm not an expert on what happens in hospitals or what procedures they're working on or how they're going through stuff, but I do have contact with people that do work for insurance and people that work at hospitals. So yeah, there are shortages around. There are shortages for line cooks, right? Where have all the line cooks and waiters gone? Where did all the construction workers go? Look, there's a shortage of construction workers. So, there's a nationwide shortage of nursing, and Southern California is paying $250 per hour. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would like to look it up. Let's look it up. Nursing shortage, USA. Let's just look that up. I guess let's just look it up. But obviously, this is going to turn into the stream where I just read reports. Well, this one's from 2020. But it would be good to hear from some stuff. So 6 recommendations to address the U.S. nursing shortage. Start with high schoolers, increase awareness, highlight alternative financing options, offer professional support, enhance educational resources, maximize licensure reciprocity, consider high-quality assessments. So, I mean, this from the AIR. I don't know who the AIR is. We'll have to look and see who these weirdos. Advancing Evidence, Improving Lives? What is that? American Institutes for Research. Okay. But anyhow, As highlighted here, similar to other countries, the U.S. has had a long-running shortage of nurses. There are many reasons for this, including the high cost of education and licensure. While the nursing shortage existed long before COVID pandemic, this crisis highlights the critical need for nurses in a healthcare system that is strained. But yeah, they're highlighting here the 6 reasons for that. I could download it and read it, digest it, and then tell it to you later if you want. I could probably go in depth in learning about nursing stuff, why there's a shortage. But you know, there's definitely a shortage in the United States of like trained workers, right? And by those 6 reasons, where highlighting the cost of education, that it's incredibly difficult to assume that somebody at like 19 years old is going to be able to go do 2 years of school in a successful manner while also having to work full time. As I highlighted earlier, it didn't work for me. It wasn't something I was able to do. I became a chef because I started working in restaurants when I was it's like right before my 16th birthday, when I was like right around there. And I had done stuff like that a little bit earlier. Oh, what is this? Hold on, Oh, okay. So sorry. Our property manager sent me an email, and I was like, what the heck is this? It's actually kind of funny. Our property manager just sent us an email about they're seeking full-time leasing professionals, compliance enforcement professionals, receptionists, and technicians, and they're going to pay money for referrals. It's serendipitous. I just got that email. So, yeah. Anyhow, I became a chef because I started working in restaurants really early. I saw that people could work there without there's really not a whole lot of judgment of who you are. Working in restaurants is pretty much everybody is sort of derelict and on the outskirts of society that works in restaurants generally. There's never like a class warfare or any of that kind of stuff. It's just sort of an environment where if you work hard in a kitchen and you're good at what you do and you show up, you will continue to be employed, essentially. DKLA says, I have access to RN surveys. There's a huge drop in available nursing now. That's why I looked into getting into nursing. I find anatomy boring as hell, so I dropped out. Okay. Well, I don't, yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to have a one-sided conversation where you guys are like a minute behind me. So I would love to continue talking about nursing stuff. I don't have any nursing. I'm not a nurse. Okay. But if you want to talk about it later in an organized way, as you said, you have access to RN surveys. So if you want to publish those, you could publish them and we could take a look at them, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to just take somebody's word for it that you have access to something. You know what I mean? I could tell you I have access to top secret documents within the government, right? But what does that mean, right? I could just be saying it. So anyhow, I was doing that, and I initially went to school because I wanted to pursue a career in essentially writing music. I wanted to write music. I wanted to be the guy who could make I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody. I wanted to be the guy who could make all the Katy Perry songs and make $1 million, and you never really know who that person is. You know what I mean? I wanted to be Chris Christopherson before he was doing concerts. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do music theory. It was very. I was like, basically, I wanted to do that. The day that I stopped going was the day that I had a meeting with a guy who was a professional music engineer, right? And it basically came down to, well, he's not a music engineer is probably the wrong title, but you get what I'm saying. I had a meeting with this guy, and I'm not trying to, um, like expose who it was, so I'm going to try to keep the details a little bit vague. But I met a guy who's very successful in the field of writing music. Um, so, um, anyhow, I met that guy, and his claim to fame was writing a jingle for these like conventions every year, right? Noser says that's called a songwriter. So in modern music, it's a little bit different than just being a songwriter. Okay, so you got to be able to do music engineering, which means you have to go through work in the sound booth, do all that kind of stuff. But whatever, it is what it is. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to do. When I met that guy, his claim to fame was he made jingles for conventions every year that played on the radio, and he was like, "This is the best way for anybody in this business to earn money every year." And this was in like 1996 or something like that. And he was talking about how um, he was talking about how he earned about, I think he said about 75,000 a year off of that. And he was like, making those jingles and doing that stuff was enough for him to like not worry about having to pay his bills. Basically, all of his bills were paid by it, and that's how he made his living. And if you kind of fast forward like 5 or 6 years or something like that, I had a buddy who was a professional drummer for bands. Like he played for Willie Nelson, he played for Britney Spears, he played for who else did he play for? Like Waylon Jennings. I don't know. He played for all these groups while they would go on tour. And when he went on he would go on tour, he'd get paid to be the gig drummer. He'd go on tour, he'd do all that stuff, and then the reality was like he came back, he had a lot of money, he bought a house, and he was a cool dude, and he was a great guy and everything. But his life just spiraled into this like. Once he got home, he was just drinking and doing drugs and stuff. And the reality was that he was kind of just like uninspired because he wasn't really like doing his own thing. And in my head, I was like, all of the people that I met were like air quote being successful within that field. They like none of them were really being satisfied by the work that they were doing. And I was like, oh, well, why would you want to aspire to be like moving into a field where like no one is inspired, right? So anyhow, I sort of assessed like where I was at, and I realized that like I made a lot of money running kitchens for people by what I thought was a lot of money. It definitely was not a lot of money in retrospect. Like in hindsight, looking back, you kind of realize like, oh, you got being completely taken advantage of in a bad way. But so I ended up doing that for years and years, and basically until like I got sober in my mid 30s. Was when I really decided that like, wow, I'm gonna make a change and go on a different career trajectory with doing remodels and like working on people's houses and stuff like that. Because I'd been doing that stuff for years on the side, and I was like, it's much more rewarding to work on a project and do that kind of stuff. So, but the second time I went to school was for English and art, basically, is what I wanted to do. Stony Escapes, just a thought for you, Corvus, and I have no better than someone you could ask for the questions, you might want to get Phil Kythine's owner of Tamed Waters. I'm confused. Well, I'm going to try to read this again. Just a thought for you. And I have no better than someone you could ask some of the questions. You might want to get Phil Kythine's owner of Tamed Waters. Neonatal ER nurse at Children's. I don't know. What is that? Let's look it up. Do 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 do. So what? Okay, I'm confused. Why am I looking this up? I don't know. Somebody posted it in the chat, and I'm looking it up. But I can't go back. Oh, there we go. I'm confused by your comment. Please rewrite it. I don't know what's going on, Stony. I don't know what you... Am I supposed to look up Phil Kythine's? I don't know why. Why am I looking this up? St. Paul. St. Paul, Minnesota? I feel like I've gone to this place. Tamed Waters is a store, right? I don't know. Oh. Excuse me. It's in St. Paul, Minnesota. I went to places in St. Paul, Minnesota. You can look up their annual renewal. Their business license is current, from my understanding. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm looking this up. I'm confused. Admittedly, I'm confused. So, Tamed Waters is a company, and I don't know why I'm looking it up. Alyssa's been to Tamed Waters. Yes, it's in Minnesota. Perhaps try buying eggs on Aquabid. What do. I don't know. Today's show is weird. I didn't really have anything I really wanted to talk about today. I was just like, yeah, it's Monday. Let's do a show. Let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. I hate that people act like year 2000 again. COVID is not over. Vaccines, antivirals, but I do like the way that we've really moved away from going out and working while sick. Yeah, Catherine, I've definitely noticed that we've made a big change as far as, like, people showing up sick to work, although I did witness it recently. And it's a weird thing I've noticed about the United States. And, you know, I think, like, if you've never been outside of the United States, it's probably pretty easy to, like, have never acknowledged that, like, other countries, like, when you're sick, you actually just stay home. Because, and it really doesn't have anything to do with about the business. It has a lot more to do with, like, I'm not going to get my coworkers sick or other people around sick. You know, ever since, like, SARS, whenever, like, SARS kind of broke, SARS first case, when was that? I mean, I know that it was, like, after 2001, right? Yeah, 2004. 2004 was, like, the first outbreak. But I know that, like, in Asia, like, a perfect example would be, like, if you have a cough or a cold, like, you would just wear a mask when you went out into public because you didn't want your getting out to other people. Like, you don't want to cough and sneeze on people and stuff like that. It's much easier to wear a mask and make sure you're not touching your face and stuff like I currently am right now. currently touching my face, right? Sitting here playing with my beard. Um, if you're wearing a mask, like, you're probably not going to do all that stuff and spread whatever you may or may not have, right? So, like, I feel like that's a much better, like, evolution of the United States. So, like, people would be like, oh, I have a cold, but I got to go to the grocery store. I'll just wear this 25-cent mask so that other people don't get sick, right? Which I think is, like, kind of a distinctly American attitude of just, like, not really caring about other people in the country, right? So that might be the deal. COVID-19 will never be over, just like AIDS will never be over. Yeah, it won't ever. It's endemic now as opposed to pandemic, which means it's just going to be around, and we're gonna have to deal with it. We have to get our flu shots. You know, it's not a big deal. I mean, getting your flu shots is not a big deal. It's not a big burden or whatever. But I feel like if you have some immunity towards getting sick, that's good. I love breeding fish. They are low pH. You know nothing about killifish. Nurses are probably more afraid of being assaulted by patients than catching COVID. Yeah, probably. I would imagine. Oh yeah, that would be a good example. Like, I know my mom was telling me like a personal story from her experience of, like, somebody came in, they had gunshot wound, and then they were working on that patient, and then his gun fell out and discharged. His gun, the guy who'd been shot, fell out of his pocket and discharged in the hospital. Luckily, like, no one was hurt or anything like that, but it technically wasn't. That wasn't like there wasn't anything wrong with that at the time, like in the 80s, right? Um, and it's one of those examples of, like, the gun-free zones, like why gun-free zones exist. It's not like going to stop criminals for bringing guns in there or whatever. It's that you have a prosecution mechanism for people that, like, were just too stupid to bring their gun to the hospital, right? Mickham says, I've had 2 colds in 3 weeks. Same one came back after I was cutting plants in the garden of my parents for 2 hours. Today was my first okay day again. Well, it's good to hear you're on the mend. But it is possible to just catch two colds. That could happen. Keeping killies often leads to having loads of small hatching containers with eggs, fry, and peat. That's true. Which is why it's why I never really went too specific into breeding my killifish. Like, I always felt like one of the benefits was of having killifish was just getting some fry every once in a while, like whatever eggs just didn't get eaten. But it's also one of the reasons I don't, like, go too in depth into fish breeding anymore, because I always end up with this, like, insane volume of fish and then, like, have to find stuff to do with them. It's like, who wants these weird rare betas, or who wants this fish? I've got 50 of them now. In the past, it was, like, more of a burden dealing with that than the actual breeding itself than I was having. As you guys know, I did the shrimp breeding for a really long time. That was easier to maintain personally because you can keep colonies of shrimp together. It's not like a ridiculous. It's not as ridiculously, like, multiple container. I guess would be the kind of thing. Like, you just end up with, like, these boatloads of tanks to maintain all of these fish, and so I found to be, like, a lot easier vibes to deal with, but. Yeah, the collectoritis of tank thing, like, it gets to me personally. I just don't. I'm not a big fan. I have given up on CO2, way too expensive in Sweden, and the technical chemistry is not appealing. but the advanced grass is still coming. Like the crypt parva paste, though. What's crypt parva paste? What's crypt parva paste? I don't know. Well, crypt parva paste didn't bring me any decent. Oh, maybe it's like tissue. Maybe you're talking about tissue culture? I don't know. I don't know what crypt parva paste is. Rebecca Lowry says, "Hey all, actually live and alert on a Monday at stream time. Oh my God, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Rebecca is here. How's the smoke? How's the smoke out there, Rebecca? We got to find out. We need a report." Oh, we better. It's that time, guys. We got to do the commercial thing. Guys. Become a YouTube member today to help support this channel. I'm currently working on video projects for this channel. One of them has become, I don't know what to tell you. I'm working on video projects. I've recorded a bunch of stuff working on the fish room. The fish room is coming along. I got a report on our stands. Our stand build video, that's going to be pretty interesting. I wonder what Jason's going to record. I don't know. We're going to find out, though, one way or another. Stand builds are coming along. Actually, speaking of COVID, our stand builder got COVID, so he's on a break while he is on a break because of COVID. So it got pushed out a little bit, but that's okay. We're not mad. Everything's fine. Everybody just moving along. Staying healthy is the most important thing. So we're just dealing with that right now. So first it was me, then it was him. The Rona, you know, it's going around. But yeah, so we're moving along on that. Building the wall, doing the electrical. We already talked about that. I have a plan for the my water situation is, I don't know, probably I've got a big goofy idea, guys. I got a big goofy idea. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow through on it, but Vicky and I kind of paced it out, and by paced I mean like stepped out the area. We stepped out the zone where we want to do this goofy idea, but I want to bury a big tank in the ground where I can keep my holding water from the fish room, so that I can use it in the greenhouse. I don't know. I don't know if she's agreed yet or not. She currently wants me to build a big pathway out front to the mailbox. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we end up in agreement on it or not. And then when we bought this house, it came with a hot tub. It's like an old hot tub. We haven't fired it up. We haven't done anything with it. And we're all kind of suspicious about it. I tried to fire it up one day, and it just trips the breaker. It just 100% just trips the breaker. You know, and so I was like, well, and the day that we were checking that out, it was like, I don't have time for this. So it's just been sitting there. Although we did discuss it, and Vicky came up with an idea of what to do with the hot tub, to move it and put it and install it in a different spot. Although I don't know if I'm 100% like signed up for the idea. We'll see how it goes with that. But I do want to move that hot tub so that I can bury a big tank in the ground and put all my wastewater from the fish tanks in there, and then not have to waste it. COVID wiped me out 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I do have to admit I was experiencing that weird the exhaustion thing that people were talking about. A lot of people were talking about overall like feeling exhausted after having COVID, and I had that same thing. Oh, anyhow, So become a member today. You can actually gift memberships. Big shout out to Aubrey, who's in the chat, who gifted memberships. I don't know who else in the chat gifted memberships, but he did. He broke the lid off the gifting of memberships. It was like, oh my God, it's actually live on my channel. He knew it before I did, and broke the lid off. Currently, right now, the YouTube channel. Look at this crap. Hold on, I gotta get the ad source. See, this is the weird thing. They always change around these buttons on me, and now audio device is where audio device is where the old selection thing was. Look at this. Look at our cancellations. Check this out. Our cancellations are this high right now. We've lost this many members. And it's off the charts. It's off the charts percentage-wise, guys. Oh my God, percentage-wise, we're off the charts, dudes. So, we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to figure out how to get it so that it's not off the charts anymore. The 999% is it's a little, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's a little rough one. But as in previous videos, I will still let you guys know that if we do get over the 500 members, I will get the moist tattoo. I'll get the moist tattoo, and I'll make a YouTube video about it. I'll probably have to make shorts about it because the little tiny short videos are what YouTube wants you to make now. Because you got to compete with TikTok or Vine. Is it Vine? Are we supposed to be competing with Vine? I think we're competing with Vine now. I'm not sure. Yeah. So we did that, and then Patreon is a third-party sponsorship page. Oh my God. There are so many updates to every website now. It's unbelievable. We'll copy this here. Copy. So if you don't want to do YouTube membership, you can do Patreon as little as $1 a month. And if you do an annual membership, you lose you lose 10%. You get 10% off. I don't know what's going on. This thing here wants me to do a thing. I don't know what it wants me to do. I'm not going to read that right now, though. Anyhow, that was our big commercial. Was it a good commercial? No. Was it a bad commercial? Sure. Why not? Remember, I have 4 members and 0 patrons. Okay, I remember that. I of course, there's no way I could forget. I like how you guys are reminding me that Vine is dead. Yes, I know. They're competing with Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch also. All of those, all competing. And Twitter, and Facebook, and what else? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. There's just too many now, guys. It's just so many layers of internet. My best hatching of annual Achilles was when I poured the peat with eggs in an old Apisto tank where I had no fish left, lowered the water to 1/3 of normal, lots of infusoria. Actually, that sounds about right for hatching killifish eggs. Last time I did it was a few years ago. 4 years ago? Probably 4 years ago. I remember I watched somebody's YouTube video about ordering killifish eggs, and it got me into the, wow, I should order some killifish eggs. 2 of the places I ordered killifish eggs from, they didn't do anything. So they may have just been a scam. Who knows? I don't know. But one of them did. We hatched some. And that's the method that I followed, actually. So, yeah. Glitter graphics. Oh my God, MySpace. They should bring back MySpace. They should do that. They should, wherever that Tom guy went, Tom should bring back MySpace. That place was crazy. Should they bring back America Online chat rooms? Should they bring that back? That place was I got to admit, when I was a kid, America Online was a trap full of creepy old people looking for young people, I guess would be the easy way to put it. I have one friend who's complaining about the death of Vine for like 2 years. Yeah, the Vine, when Vine died, it was like it was basically just like Vine is no more. Yeah, so it was it was very traumatic for a lot of people that were making Vines. It just was like, yeah, no more. No, but Yahoo chat rooms are still sorely missed. Well, that's kind of the reason for the Discord. It's sort of like a chat room, but it's not as intrusive, I guess. I don't know. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, who was asking what's my Oh, Aubrey says Rebecca was first. Was Rebecca first to gift a membership? Is that who was first? Man, I thought Aubrey was first. Okay, well, we'll have to write that down. Rebecca was first. Aubrey was in school for graphic web design when MySpace came out. I really miss all the customization it had. Yeah, that's true. It had a lot more customization than the current stuff out there. And I feel like it's weird that like YouTube never even really integrated a lot of that customization because it's like it already existed. I feel like YouTube could have done that pretty easily with like people's YouTube pages. Who was it? Hold on, I was reading the chat to find out who. Somebody asked what was my optimal tank numbers. Oh, Aquarium Plant Lab was saying, how many tanks is ideal for you? I think realistically, 4 or 5. I think 4 or 5 is about right for me personally. Because then I can have 3 sort of set up as semi-permanent, permanent or semi-permanent, right? I guess like have a setup in there, let them grow, maintain them, let them grow, maintain them, let them grow, maintain them. And then if I have 1 or 2 that can be broke down and worked on and changed or whatever, and then just run through the cycle them like that, I think would be pretty optimal for what I like to do. Yeah, I think that's where I would land. I don't remember AOL for free. You always had to get those CD-ROM discs so you could add hours to your account, you know? Yeah, so I think like as far as how many tanks I want to have, it will probably be like 4 or 5. And it really does kind of boil down to having a situation that like makes sense. I'm having a problem remembering. I'm having a problem. I'm having a brain fart remembering her name. But Corey recently did a video tour. Where's his videos? He currently did a video tour of her fish room, and I'm gonna try and remember it. Yeah, this one right here. And I can't remember her name right now. Okay, sound is off, so we're good. We're gonna get a copyright strike. Esther, God, I don't know why I forgot her name. The At Aquaflora they have a fish room. Corey did a tour video of this. Renew your channel membership. Oh my God, it popped up that I'm supposed to renew my channel membership at the aquarium co-op. That feels weird. That feels weird to become a member on aquarium co-op. I never have been a member because I'm a mod on there on this channel, and I got gifted a membership, which is actually kind of nice because I went and listened to some of the videos, some of the speaking videos. It's kind of nice to be able to do that. I thought it was worthwhile. I don't know how much it costs to become a member. How much does it cost to become a member on Aquarium Co-op? $3.99. It's more expensive to be a member on my channel. I put mine at $5 because that's like the lowest you could really put it. Oh, his membership video is when we were in Peru. All right. Well, let's close that because now we got it. But if you go watch that video of Esther's Garden, the Aquaflora's showroom, that's pretty on par with the sort of vision I have of the fish room for me. Like I want a non-cluttered, clean remodel. You know, like that's what I want. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. That's the kind of space I want to be working in and stuff. So that's the plan long term. Up in 5 hours, have to bail. Thanks for the stream. I'm holding you to that email response, though. I think it will be interesting. Like I said, man, if you want to schedule something, anybody wants to schedule something, be proactive. Email me and be like, hey, Saturday, whatever, or Monday, whatever. You know, if you're proactive and you're like, hey, here's the day I want to do something, I will pop on and come on to somebody's stream or whatever. If it's something I can work out schedule wise, then yeah. One of the biggest issues I always have is that people will be like, hey, I want to do this thing. And you're like, okay, when? And they're like, I don't know. And they're like, okay, well, neither do I. I don't know when you want to do that thing. So yeah, that's one of those situations that like I'm happy to go on and talk to people or whatever. It's all good with me. But just as a hint to everybody out there, just be proactive with that stuff that you have a plan, right? You have a good plan, and then this is when you want to do it. It's like, okay. And I was trying to think of an example of that. When was I on? When was I on? Who was I on with? Well, here's an old video of me on with Mass Aquariums. Oh, I was on with Big Tank Hank. Yeah, I was on with Big Tank Hank because he was like, hey, I want to do... Can you come on? I want to interview you or whatever. I don't know exactly how he worded it, but he was like, yeah, I want to do this on this date. And I was like, I don't know about that date. And he was like, how about this date? And I was like, oh, yeah, I will put that on my calendar. And we did it, and it was good. And he's never asked me to come back, so maybe it didn't go well. I don't know. If you're going to the Netherlands in spring, you may want to visit their Killie convention arranged by the KFN, Killifish Netherlands, one of the best events. Killie convention. Do you have a link, or at least the full name? Killie convention arranged by the KFN. I don't know. What's the full name of their convention? Okay. Killifish in Netherlands. KFN Killifish Nederland. Nederland. Do they have a convention in the spring? This is always one of those things that, like, hey, man, if you're in Europe, I don't know when your conventions are. I don't get invites. I don't get advertisements for it. I don't get any of that stuff. So, like, this is perfect, Mickham. If there's, like, a cool convention I should go to, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to know. Which means I'm probably not going to go to the thing. If I don't know when it is and I can't like get planned to go to it ahead of time, then I'm not going to be able to drop of the hat, go anywhere. It's just that life is long behind me, man. I have a kid, man. I can't just pick up and leave my kid, like it's got to be planned. So while that's a bummer and everything for, I guess, people, it is what it is, and also I wouldn't like want to make it super. I wouldn't want to make it like super difficult on my child because like where did Dad go? He just left, and he'll be back. What? No one planned this out. What's the deal here? You know what I mean? No, most people wouldn't want to do that to their kids either. What is with this website? Yeah. So if you got specific stuff like I can't find it. I can't find it by looking it up. Killifish in the Netherlands? This is literally the American killifish. Man, I gotta. Oh man, I got to KFN 45-degree. What is this? It? This might be it. Home. Well, we better translate this to English. But it's in Italian. Convention. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to need some help here. I'm going to need some help from somebody that knows what's going on. Because it's going to be a long time of me just like clicking around and looking at stuff and wondering what the hell's going on. But if there's good conventions out there, like, if I don't know when or where they are, I'm not going to be able to just drop everything and go to it. So if I know ahead of time, I could probably plan to go to something. But yeah. Well, nobody wanted to call in today. Man, nobody wanted to talk to me live. Just asked you a specific. What? Sorry, last question. Can you get Corey's test strips on Amazon into Sweden? I cannot do anything for you as far as like shipping or I can't do any of that stuff. I don't do that. I don't do that for the aquarium co-op. You would have to send them an email. I don't know who. I don't do any of the shipping. I don't do any of that stuff. Yeah. So I can't. I can't do that. No. Even if I wanted to, I can't. But I don't have a lot of motivation to like figure out international shipping and taxes and VAT and EU and I don't want to do that. Listen, Bentley, right? It was a great masquerade from NorwestCon years ago. Whoa. Armor made from AOL discs should come with an automatic low DC change. That your enemy is blind when they look upon you every round if in sunlight. Oh, that's pretty good. No, just asked if you knew he was selling. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. The little bit that I do know, I try to not know because I don't do shipping, man. I don't know. I don't have anything to do with it. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't have anything to do with that stuff. I don't have anything to do with international shipping or national shipping or shipping of any kind. I don't know. I don't know where stuff gets shipped or not. Yeah, but he thinks I'm asking him to do it. I don't. I've lit. Okay. Uh. It, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with any of that stuff at the co-op. I don't. I really don't. Yeah, I don't have anything to do with shipping. I don't ship anything. So I don't know. Rebecca's wondering if it's not a job perk for me to be a member on the YouTube channel. No, it's not a job perk. Which is weird because the way that you would have to do that would be the weirdest job perk ever. Like I would need. I don't know. I don't even know how you would do that. How would you process the charge? Because it'd be through like my account, and then something. Yeah, it just would be weird for $3.99 a month or whatever. Like, like I just it's all good. Thanks. We'll not ask again. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I don't know how to ship anything to Sweden, let alone like from a company standpoint. This is interesting. Very breaking news and very weird. Huh. Weird. I'm not gonna give this breaking news because I don't even know if it's true or not. So yeah, never mind. That's what happens when you have a thing pop up, and you get a breaking news thing, and you read it because it's interesting. Yeah. They need your $3 specifically, or the whole thing falls down. No, it's just that like my YouTube channel is my YouTube channel, so it would be like, so I would have to like get a reimbursement or something for it to be like a job perk. So I don't know. I could buy it if I need it. It's fine. Yeah. That whole situation would be weird. Oh, sorry. Am I a tease? So I just got somebody tweeted at me. The breaking news: 26-year-old Trump supporter Anton Lunyik has been identified as the recipient of an outgoing phone call made from the White House switchboard on the 6th of January. Yeah, it's very weird. He was one of the people that broke into the Capitol. There's pictures of him having broken into the Capitol. So I don't know. It's very weird that somebody would have called him from inside the White House. I don't know. I was like, wow, it's just very weird. It's very weird, like all of this craziness going on. You're finding out like all this crazy nonsense. I was I don't normally watch like regular news. It's not something I do, but there's been all these weird groups in Washington State who have been like going around apparently and trying to incite people into thinking that that their registration is not current or whatever with voting in Washington, which is it's weird. It's weird how they're going about it as a voter suppression tactic, really. Yeah, when was this ongoing? Yeah, they're trying to like deal with these like Dropbox surveillance and all this crazy. They're doing all this kind of crazy stuff, and it's getting weird. It was weird. It was on like the national news this morning. I was in a waiting room, and the news was on there, and it was like the national news, and it was in Washington State, so it piqued my interest. You know, normally I wouldn't watch that. 9-second call according to the Bigs. Yep. The call is coming from inside the house. That's right. Yeah. Sadly, it was not the Viking guy. Largest event is in Germany by the DKG exhibition Soltau 2023, 18 to 21 in May, close to the Hamburg area. Germany by the DKG. See, all right. So I've copied your comment. Now, my internet results are a concert festival, high-end Munich, high-end and internationally renowned audio exhibition, Perf Sport. What is this? There's a horse convention. The next one is Untitled. MapQuest result. That's not helpful. Yeah, see, like, Mickham, I love you. You gotta help me, man. You gotta help me with, like, a specific, like, what is it? So, Germany by the DKG exhibition Soltau 2023, 18 to the 21st May. Close into the Hamburg area. Like, what's it called? Like, I need the name of the event or whatever. Let's see. So if we go DKG exhibition. (2023) in Hamburg. Is there U in there? There it is. Germany. So let me look that up. DKG. All right, let's see here. Trade shows in Germany? Oh my god, this is a giant, insane website. Okay. Aircraft interiors in Hamburg, Germany. Yeah, I don't know. Yep, I don't know. Interzoo? Interzoo's in 2024, so I won't be able to go to that until 2024. I might try to go to the next Interzoo. I don't know. I might take my family and go live in the middle of the woods by then. So who knows? Just go off and live in the woods. Okay, what the hell is this? Oh, I'm now live on my channel. Okay, that's me. Anyhow, all right. Well, Convention of the Deutsch. All right, here we go. Anthony coming out of nowhere. I haven't even heard from Anthony in a million years. Apparently just out there listening. Okay, here we go. DKLA, MapQuest is for children. Thomas Guide is OG. Thomas Guide will burn up so much gas with how heavy it is in your car. So the 8th of October, 29th of October. The 51st convention of the Deutsche Kunde, May to 18th. Where's the... Whoa. Okay, we better close that website. Board of Advisors. Soltau 2023, is that what we want? Oh my god, your website is janky. Oh, your janky website. Okay. So, I will try to figure this out, but their website is rough, dude. Their website is not... Oh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tag this website, and then we'll see if I can remember to try and go to this. Let's close that. Close that. And close that. I don't know. I don't speak German, so you know how it is. I don't sprechen Sie Deutsch, man. Sorry. All right, nobody called in. I'm leaving the voice channel because I keep checking it and nobody called in. So yeah, I'm closing it. Like button. People are. I'm supposed to tell people to hit the like button, but you know how it is. It's just like it is what it is. Brian Suits has said that his mother had to be interviewed to mail in a voter ballot when she was living in Washington. Who's Brian Suits? Who's Brian Suits? I'm gonna look that up. Let's see. Raffensperger. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Okay. I don't know who Brian Suits is. I voted in Washington, and nobody's ever had to interview my mom, so I don't know. I just run GPS through the Bluetooth in my car. That way, if I take a wrong turn, it just recalculates rather than me being forever lost. It's a good point. That is a good point. Solid point. I use GPS all the time just because I want the traffic updates, dude. Well, I want to know where I'm going, so that's helpful. I normally look up the trek to see if it's even worthwhile to go. If there's a big traffic jam, I'll be like, oh, God. Maybe I'm not going to that. After years dealing with dog and cat breeder sites, which are awful, I can't imagine what fish sites are like. But you'd expect German ones to be, a step up. It doesn't make sense. I would expect them to be a step up because this is a wacky website. Like, I'm not really sure who thinks this is how you do it. Home. There's no home button. Okay. Board index? Okay. Copy. Here's the message board. There you go. Suits did a brief Monday through Friday stint on KABC Los Angeles, 9 a.m. to noon slot. However, he ultimately summoned back to KFI. July 21, Suits announced that he would be leaving KFI largely due to ideological differences and censorship imposed by KFI, as well as payment arguments over his proprietary show, The Dark Secret Place. Suits is currently available through subscription service ConnectPal until July 31st, 2022, when his content will move to his new Patreon channel. So he's a war vet from Operation Desert Storm. And he sounds like a conspiracy theorist, I guess. I don't know. So he's like a radio talk show guy? Okay. Suits was involved in a conflict between Geraldo Rivera and Tom Likas in 2013 when Rivera apparently called both of them a right-wing jerk-off. I'll tell you, I've actually met Tom Likas, and he is a right-wing jerk-off. I mean, realistically. Yeah. But I'll tell you, like, Tom Likas is basically the, Tom Likas was basically the Andrew Tate of, like, 25 years ago, right? Maybe longer than that. 30 years ago? When did Tom Likas start his nonsense? (1994 to 2009). Yeah. Yeah. So, you know. Yep, in the middle you have the info link to Soltau 2023. Yeah, I've got it there, so I think, I mean, but it is a little bit rough to figure out their website here. But I've got the Soltau link. I'll try to figure out if this is something that something I could try to go to, because, like, right in the May 18th to 21st, that would be a good time to, like, try and go. I think the weather would be nice, too. Rebecca says, I was okay with Lycus until he went all misogyny. Yeah, that was the thing. Like, he was a fun guy to listen to until he went, like, full misogynistic, like, crazy nonsense. I'm not really sure what his deal is, but back in the day, and he was at an event that I went to, and, you know, I met him in person, and it was like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna stop listening to this person. Would be the easiest way to put it. It was like, oh, you met him, talked to him for a little bit, and you realized, like, oh, wow, this is nonsense. Okay. This whole radio thing was nonsense. After Colphage, I'm always suspicious of vets who use that as their legitimacy. I'm always suspicious of anybody who is, like, overly zealous about their veteran status, right? I know a lot of veterans, and the ones that are weird are the ones that, like, are always talking about being a veteran. I can say that. Those are always the weird ones. Those are the ones that are like, I'm not letting that guy house sit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not having that guy, like, do X, Y, and Z responsibility stuff, you know. Now that may be a weird that might be a weird take, like, on my end over here, but, like, you may have personally a different experience, but that's been my experience, realistically. Like, just anecdotally, personal life stuff. The peeps that constantly bring that stuff up are a little bit rough. Since I clicked the sponsored button, just a shout out, guys. If you're gonna buy stuff from Amazon, oh my God, where's my link? Oh man, I don't have my link. Oh, this might be it. Oh, there's my link. Yeah. Copy. So I got to do the Amazon link just so you guys know. Go over to the Amazon store, and if you're going to go through and buy stuff at Amazon, because we're an Amazon affiliate. So go over there and buy stuff if you're going to. I think that's the correct. Oh, no, I'm supposed to go here. I wonder if that's the right link. Probably not, but it should send you to the store. Let me see what it does. I think it does. I don't know. We'll find out. Somebody will click on it, and they'll be like, what? Yeah, so stuff that I've used, and speaking of stuff that I've used, Mickham was asking, like, is there a new lens on the list to get? And realistically, like, I have the lenses that I need, realistically. Like, I have my macro lens right here in the bag, ready to go. I've got... Oh, that's an old lens I don't use. I've got my 35 mil for real basic photography. I have my 85 mil right here. Nope, that's a 35. What am I crazy? I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know where my 85 mil is. I think it's back there. But I got my 85, and the lens that I carry around with me always, 100% of the time, is this lens right here, the 100 to 45, or the 100 to 500, which is an insane lens, and it actually was took a very long time to get money to buy this lens. Like, it took a very long time. It's a $3,000 lens. It kind of freaks me out when people notice it. I've considered painting it black, just so that people don't, like, it's not as noticeable. Because it's a white lens, like, people, oh my God, hey, what's that? Like, people freak out. So I've thought of painting it, just on the standpoint of, like, I don't want undue attention. It admittedly, like I said, it stresses me out, like, taking this lens places, because, like, you know, just on the off chance that somebody is having a real bad day and they're like, oh my God, I could sell that at the pawn shop. Like, even though the serial number is registered, like, it's still, you know, it would be a big pain in the ass to replace it. You know what I mean? So I use this lens all the time. I honestly, I don't think that there's, like, another lens to really, like, carry around. Because it goes 100 to 500. The reach is insane. Anything that's over there, you're going to be able to get at least a good shot of it. It's pretty compact, realistically, for going all the way up to 500 millimeters. And, like, because I can use crop mode on my camera, it actually reaches, and let's do the math here. It reaches to 800 millimeter in crop mode, because it's 1.6 is the crop mode, I believe. So that reach is pretty good. You know, if you hit that crop mode, you can get to, like, 800 mil with my camera, and that is getting pictures of birds over there. You know what I mean? So I carry that lens with me, and the 15 to 35. Those are the two lenses I carry with me all the time, because the 15 to 35 millimeter RF mount. Oops, 13 to 35. No, this lens right here. This is the first expensive lens. This is the first, like, really realistically expensive lens that I ever bought. And you can actually find it renewed now, well, even on Amazon. So I think initially this thing was like $2,500. It's the 15 to 35, which means I can get anything up close. Wide angle landscape shots, bust it to 35. I can get cool portraits, and then the 100 to 500. These are the two lenses I take with me. Is these two lenses, and I'm able to shoot, like, whatever I want. I can get a shot of everything, because let's say I got to shoot some portraits, which you'd normally want, like, an 85 millimeter for. Well, the 100 to 500 goes to 100 millimeter. I can shoot portraits at 100 millimeters. That's fine. The 15 to 35 does all the wide angle stuff that you could possibly want. And it just handles it just fine. So those are the two lenses that I carry around. So I'm not really like at a point right now where I realistically need any camera equipment, but I'm searching right now for a camera for a friend of mine. I'm trying to find a refurbished Canon R, which is my video camera. This is the video camera I shoot with all the time. This is what I shoot video with, is the R, which actually is it's a pretty old camera at this point, but it does great for just recording video. I can literally stick a battery on this thing and record interviews and stuff, and obviously it has a cage on it, so I can do pretty much everything I want to do with that R. It's really does pretty much everything I want. DKLA says, Tom, all about the wine and booze now. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't even know. I haven't listened to that guy in a million years. In the middle. That's a lot of tanks. What is attendance? Yeah, just to follow up on that Brian Suits thing, I don't know what he's talking about. That his mother had to be interviewed to mail in a voter ballot when she was living in Washington. I don't. That's bonkers to me. I've never heard of anybody getting interviewed to mail in. We have mail-in voting in Washington State. We mail in all of our voting. But yeah, as far as like the camera lenses and that kind of stuff, like those are the two mainstay ones. But like I said, this lens right here is it's in this little travel bag because I do take it to do macro shots. This is the 100 millimeter macro lens that I use, and it's quite good. I can't complain about this lens. So I do take that with me on stuff. That's why it's sitting here, because I actually took it to go shoot some real up close macro stuff. I don't know, last Monday, I think. So this is my desk, so I do have stuff sitting here for a week at a time. Aubrey's wondering if I got a drone. Yes, I sold some crap. I sold some stuff that I didn't want anymore, and I took that money and I bought a drone. So I bought a DJI Mini Pro 3, which is where, let's see if we can find it. DJI Mini Pro 3. So this is the drone right here that I got. And I really have to admit it is extraordinarily like capable. I may have already filmed somewhere that I really wasn't supposed to. This is the Amazon link, by the way. So if you guys buy stuff through Amazon, I get a affiliate money, just so you know. Federal Trade Commission, I warned you. You guys, I told you. And I have to admit, like, I finally bought this drone because it has all of the automated stuff that I want. It has a controller with a screen, so you don't have to put your phone in it. It has crash detection, so I have not crashed it yet. I've basically just been like flying it around at places that I go hiking and stuff as best I can. Like some places you can't fly it whatsoever. I may or may not have flown this at some places that you're not supposed to. Admittedly, let's just say it's because of not knowing, right? Let's just say I didn't know. And I have to admit, like, one of the big things that it has is that, like, it has this automated, like, built-in master shots. It's called master shots. So basically, like, you can get the drone up in the air, just let it hover in a spot, and you can do the master shots thing, and it'll go through like a 3-minute, do a bunch of fly around shots, which is extraordinarily helpful for somebody that's like relatively new to drone stuff. But that's the reason that I wanted it, is because of the controller with the screen on it. It doesn't crash into things really, because you have like pretty good detection. It has the GPS on it. The battery life is good. It's below 250 grams, and it has those master shots, so you can literally go to a place, put it up in the air, and send it up and have it fly around on its own and get some shots of where you're at and come back and land. So, that to me has like a lot of value because, it really sucked to like go somewhere and then spend 2 hours like getting your drone up, flying around, missing shots, doing this, doing that, or even an hour or half an hour when this can literally like I can get it out, set it up, and send it up and fly it around in like 8 minutes, I think, because like you can do the master shots for 4 minutes, and it probably takes 2 minutes to get it out of my bag and 2 minutes to put it away. So that kind of stuff to me has like a lot of value where you just go like, I'm gonna get these shots, we're gonna get out of here and get going and keep moving on with the day. So that stuff's pretty important to me. I don't know if it is to you, but that to me has a lot of value. And it also has a follow mode that you can actually like follow. You can actually like follow whoever it's like pinned to. So you potentially could just be like walking down a road and the drone just be following you as you walk down the road. Casey Neistat actually got me watching YouTube. LRB got me into the US streams. Which makes sense. I mean, I think Casey Neistat got a lot of people into YouTube, realistically. I mean, that guy really changed the game for, like, how people make YouTube content, how people engage with YouTube. Like, the guy really did a lot. All right. Got a message from my lady. Yeah, anyhow, I don't know. It's a pretty slow Monday, and I'm feeling pretty basic, and you guys seem pretty chill, too. So, I don't know. The questions are running hot and deep today. Hot and deep. Well, I'm pretty reliant on chat. And you guys are all seeming pretty quiet, and people aren't really pouring in the door today. I guess I should make the title more, I don't know, outrageous. Should make the title more outrageous next time. What about the heater? What heater? The water heater? We've already been over the water heater. I've talked about it a lot. No super chats and no gifted members or anything today, so that's pretty easy to get through. Shopping. Am I supposed to select products? What is this thing? Oh, I'm not going to put any of these shopping items in the select products to highlight. Oh, YouTube wants you to select products to highlight now. Save. What does that do? Does it like pop up in the chat or something? I don't know. Anyhow, stream settings. Oh my gosh, let's not click on those. Analytics. Not enough likes. Oh man, we didn't get enough likes today. Likes, no good. I feel like I talk too much in here. Nah. Well, anyhow, I don't know. Everybody's feeling very Monday today, so. Water heater, or was it a heater for the house? Water heater. Water heater for the house, yes. Yeah, I replaced the water heater in the house, and it's a heat pump version, so Americans lost their minds. They didn't know what to think. I've been prepping for winter, so no extra funds this week. Oh. Rebecca, you already are a member, so don't worry about it. That's all good. I wonder if there's... Oh, no, I don't see a way to do it. I don't see a way to do it from my own thing. Nickum says I need to start filming some of my tanks. Yeah, you definitely need to do that, for sure. All right. Well, you guys are having a chill day. I guess I'm going to go back to working on my hiking video. All right.